Hey everyone, here's a short little video on why we are looking at social media accounts from a critical approach as opposed to just for our own entertainment or own pleasure. So, first of all, you have to do a social media audit. You have to pick three entities or three profiles. You have to fill out a template, see what was happening, what they were doing, what's the point of it all? Why did I make you do that assignment? So, here's the point. It's basically to get ideas. One of the best ways to get strategies for how to navigate a world of business, of marketing, of just general information that's continuously changing is to be engaged with it as much as possible. And even though we engage with it in more of the personal use and the entertainment type of use, it's again that concept of having one foot in the professional world as well. Even when we're just searching social media and wasting time on it on our own time as well. It's really just to get ideas. It's to see what's out there. And so essentially, what are other people doing? And really, what are they doing well? And well, how are they using the platform? I think that's one of the coolest things that I've noticed when I look at social media critically is as Instagram or as Facebook roll out new features, how people are finding ways to use the platforms, probably even beyond how the software designers intended them to be used for. And I think that's really cool. It helps me say, really, that's a great use of creativity. So I like to see how other people use it. And then really, we're looking at it from this professional perspective of how it's used to drive sales. So we're looking at, are people liking this post? Well, maybe we can't see the analytics of a business-oriented Instagram page or Facebook page. Those are all capabilities when you do create a business profile or you change the Instagram from a personal type of account to a business account. You are able to see some of the back-end analytics. And so then you can see how many people are clicking on links, etc. So even though we don't have some of those analytics, we're not able to see that back end. You can tell, are people liking these posts? Do they have a lot of followers? Are people commenting a lot? Are they taking other people? And so really we can see how other entities are using their social media to drive sales or for people to take action. And it's really essentially how they're using it as a marketing tool. So again, the concept of this is for you to consider yourself in the professional world, professional use of social media. Again, whether it's Snapchat or Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or Twitter, some things that you could consider. Do you have a personal account that maybe you're just using on your own just for fun? Maybe you create another account that's a professional account. And maybe this is how you start to build your own brand, if that's something that is a goal of yours. Or maybe you have an account that you don't really use anymore because you feel like you've outgrown social media for just the likes and the hashtags, but you recognize its value in a professional way. That can be an option. Or those of you that do work for businesses of any kind, not just fitness oriented or physical activity, is maybe this is a new task that you can pitch to your owner, is that you take on some management roles of their account. Now that you have some experience looking at accounts critically, you can talk to your employer about how do they manage their account. Did they ever evaluate what they're doing? Do they ever look at what other people are doing to see how to use these platforms? And so really it's just to either do it for your own account if you're trying to pursue it as a business, as an entrepreneur, and just really keep tabs on what the rest of the industry is doing and how they're using social media. So say you start your own account or you transition yours to a professional account. We're really looking at two things, and you have to identify this in your audit. We have to look at strengths. What are some of these other entities, big, small, for-profit, nonprofit, selling things, not selling things? What are they doing really, really well? And when we find those out, it helps us not to have to reinvent the wheel and go through as much trial and error. And then also you have to identify what were some of the weaknesses, what maybe wasn't so good, wasn't as appealing to you. If you already have a kind of a brand in mind or a company profile in mind, you can look at others and see, well, maybe that works for them, but that would not align with our beliefs, or that would not be a good strategy for us to use, just not for us. So it really tells you what to use and what to avoid. And then it helps you get some answers to some really essential questions. And so let's say you already are using social media professionally for your business or for a company that you work for, you want to continually answer questions or ask yourself these questions. And really, is the social media doing what you want it to do? Or is it just a time suck for you or for your employees? If it's not doing what you want it to do, whatever that may be, that's something you have to set up for yourselves as a purpose of it, then you need to change. You need to have yourself or your social media managers do whatever they're doing differently, or even potentially discontinue the use of it if your resources and especially time are spent in other areas of marketing. Another element, another question you want to continuously answer is sometimes it's easy to get stuck in the social media time suck, or just to stay fairly closed-minded and narrow in what we're posting because we also consume social media. And so making sure that are you actually staying true to your brand and to the mission of what you want to do, because it's pretty easy to get off of that when we're really dealing with emojis and likes and comments and visual media like photo and videos. And then another question is the social media, is it actually supporting what we want to do? So is it to drive sales, or is it to generate awareness? Is this a good way for us, again, to continue to use what we want it to do, but more so, is it amplifying your mission? Is it supporting the verbs that you do? We've talked about verbs before. So if your verb or what you do is to inspire clients to live a healthy life through your services and through things they do on their own, is this social media account, is it amplifying essentially that mission? And then finally, this is again maybe a more negative way of looking at it, making sure that your social media is not distorting people's reality. It's not sending the wrong message. And we also want to make sure that it's not diverting people's attention away from what you're actually doing. Because again, everything always needs to come back to the verb. In our industry, whether it's selling something, if it's delivering a service, if it's programming, if it's bringing people together, creating community, making people healthier, that's what our focus is. And so if the social media is diverting attention or distorting the actual reality, as opposed to amplifying, supporting, staying true to those verbs, to what you do, then something also needs to change.